So today I did something quite scary and cut a very big hole into my van for the first ever time. I was putting a big solid window into the sliding door of the van, and here you can see my cardboard template that I'd cut out for the hole. I didn't use this to draw around exactly. I sort of used it to draw a few dots around and then used a ruler to join those dots up just so it was a bit more straight than the cardboard. Once I'd measured it up a couple of times, I was happy with the border that I'd drawn and decided to go around it with a centre punch, basically marking off a few spots around that border that I could drill some holes through. The reason for the holes around the border is so that I can get my jigsaw blade into there with ease, and so that I've got a few spots along the way that I can take that out easily if I want to have rests. First off, I did need to get rid of these beams from the inside as they would be too thick for the jigsaw blade to get through by itself. This was the first time I'd used an angle grinder actually, so that was exciting. Once they were off, I taped along the outside of the border with some masking tape just to give the jigsaw a bit of a sort of track to go along really, so that it wasn't scraping the paint. It also acted as a sort of way of holding the paint down and stopping it from splintering or flaking off. You can use specific blades on your jigsaw that are made for metal, which made this quite an easy process to do. Usually if you're doing this by yourself, you can just use some tape to stop that piece of metal from falling and damaging any of your van, but I had Mum on hand that day, so that was quite handy, so she caught that for me. Once that metal's out, there was quite a few rough, jaggedy edges that just needed a quick file down. I forgot to film the next stage as well, which is basically just giving it a lick of paint. As this was exposed metal, just a bit of Hammerite around the edges will do the trick. I then went on to clean the edges of the window with an alcoholic wipe just to get any grease or dirt off, followed by using some black primer around the edge. The exact same process is repeated on the van wall as well. Some kits say to just do it on the van wall, some say to do it on both. My one was for both. The general advice with primer is to do one solid continuous bead. So you can see by this video I did actually go a bit overboard and do the primer a little bit thick, but it didn't matter in the end. The exact same advice follows for the adhesive that you can see me putting on here. One continuous solid thick bead, just to make sure that there's no gaps for obviously any water to get through. So then I just picked it up and plonked it on, and it stuck on quite easily. I'll tell you what though, there was adrenaline pumping through my veins the entire process, but I am happy with the end result.